What are some classic stereotypes of customers at your job that people outside your industry might not realize exist? Some extreme couponers go the extra mile by staying way past closing time. They hope the cashier will hurry through all their coupons to get out of work faster so they can scam a few extra bucks. Most the time rude as heck, which makes sense. If you're going to blatantly scam the system, you probably don't care about being polite. Not all extreme couponers are like this. Organized, quick as you can be, and try their best follow the rules. Mexicans love strawberries and banana splits, learned while working at Dairy Queen. Old people love pecan clusters, also learned at DQ. Confirmed, I am a Mexican who loves strawberries and banana splits. In a warehouse, too many people don't seem to think when they pick up large products. Running joke is they're probably driving a Civic. It's not so funny when you pull the huge box out and they do pull up in a Civic. Similar idea, but I was working at a garden center. Just push harder. I'm sure that tree will fit in my little trunk. I work at a gas station. Black people always smoke menthols, usually Newports. Asians generally smoke Parliament Lights, and white people smoke everything else. With Mexicans it's either Marlboro Reds or Marlboro Lights. When I worked at a gas station years ago, I noticed the black people add the letter S to some words and take off the S on other words. So I would often hear "gimme a pack of Newports" and a Snicker bar. It sounded like Snicker bar. If two middle-aged black women come into Starbucks in the evening, they'll both order frappuccinos, one light, one standard, and the one who didn't get a light frappuccino will say something. "Oh girl, I should have done that too. Look how fattening this is. I've been there a few months now. This has yet to not happen. I've worked at Starbucks 8 years. Can confirm." One thing I've learned working in jewelry is that you don't stereotype customers. The guy coming in filthy work clothes might own his own construction company and want to drop some serious money on an engagement ring for his girl. The person who looks like they can't afford crap might have been saving up forever to buy themselves something really nice as a treat. The kid who only has $50 to spend on a gift for his girlfriend now will remember years later, when he's more comfortable financially, that you treated him like a valued customer when he was young and broke. If someone has walked into 3 different jewelry stores before yours and you're the first person who approached them and treated them like they were worthy of your time, you will make the sale. That said, there is a certain type of little old lady that is addicted to jewelry and you can pretty much immediately tell. They're usually wearing a bunch of well-coordinated pieces and they stare at anything you show them like a dragon who wants to add something shiny to its hoard. If they come in and you can start a friendly conversation with them, they will pretty much always buy something. Often, they are hiding their purchases from their husbands, and because they already own so much jewelry, they can get away with, "What? This? I've had it for years. Don't you remember?" I clean vacation homes for extremely wealthy people. The ones that worked hard and honestly are the best, most appreciative employers you could ask for. The ones that got rich overnight, inheritance, real estate, lottery, etc., are stingy, paranoid and mean. They also tend to be complete slobs. Sorority girls always order broccoli cheddar soup in a bread bowl and old people are never hungry and only want half a sandwich. At health food stores, kids handle being said no to better than adults. "Kid, do you have Pepsi?" "Me. Sorry, we only carries these healthier sodas." "Kid, okay." "Mom, do you have vodka?" "Me. Sorry, but we don't carry any liquors." "Mom, are you kidding me? What kind of store is this? I'm never shopping here again." I used to work at an ice cream place and there were many ice cream related racial stereotypes. Black people always ordered flavors with black in the title, like black raspberry or black walnut. Indian people liked butter pecan. Mexicans really love banana splits. Till there are ice cream related racial stereotypes. Every wedding DJ has the exact same playlist for a white wedding. 2 parts pop, 2 parts classic rock, 1 part Motown, 1 part country, and 1 part Journey and Bon Jovi. You're forgetting the bangers like the Cha-Cha Slide and the Cupid Shuffle. I run movie theaters. I've been in the business for almost 20 years. If a sappy teen romance comes out, we sell out of Icy and Sour Patch Kids. If a black movie comes out, We go through tons of nachos, hot dogs, fruit punch and 9 ounces courtesy cups of water. Free water cups, LOL. In Texas, say anything is from Texas and people will buy it. Good trick for upselling. That is $3. Well, vodka, how about Tito's vodka for $5? It's from Texas. Also, if you don't have sweet tea, people will always first stare disappointingly at the sugar packets, then order a Coke Dr. Pepper. That's because sugar doesn't dissolve appropriately in cold tea. Your race defines who in your family can fix your car cheaper than I can. White is brother, brother-in-law and or father if you're a woman. Mexican is a cousin. Black is an uncle. Middle Eastern is a friend who has a shop. I've found that white dudes usually ask their buddy about the issue beforehand. Strangely enough, the buddy always understates the problem or charges about half the labor. When I was a lifeguard at a water park, black people can't swim. Asian families always travel in huge groups. The Asian family always has at least one member that can't swim. Hispanic families try to ignore the rules by selectively understanding English. Fat white moms are the bitchiest people on the planet. Seriously lady, your kid is too short to ride the slide. He doesn't even seem to mind much. Now go back down the stairs and next time check the height sign at the start of the line. And everyone always asks if they can cut through the chain that says closed. No, you freaking can't. That's why it's closed. And Indians always ask about swimming lessons but never get them. Dogs really do chase the mailman. It's freaking horrifying after dropping a package off at the door only to turn and find a big butt dog down the street that doesn't notice you until you see it, then charges only to have the vehicle door shut in its face, then having to roll the giant butt window up with that sucker trying to get you through it. The idea of cremation makes black people really anxious. My employer only cremates pets and we don't get a lot of black customers bringing us pets. But everyone where I've gone to return the urn to the family, I have been heavily questioned about if this is their pet, how I can know that this is their pet, and how they can be sure I'm not giving them an urn full of sawdust or sand. At the same time, they don't want to hear any of the details about the identification number or PC terms for cremation. I work retail. Mr. Singh wants to buy a fridge and brought his wife, 3 children, and mother and father. Also, he wants to know if there are any discounts available. If not, his wife would like to know. If not, his mother and father would like to know. If not, his kids will climb all over the merchandise. I have Middle Eastern neighbors and it's always the entire brood leaving when they go somewhere. I know because they take the front and back stairs because there's like 18 of them and the kids are always screaming and the parents are always screaming. Okay, here's mine. I used to work at a popular coffee place in the US and teenage girls always order their coffee French vanilla, light and sweet. Indians always get cappuccinos and hash browns, and old people usually get a small black coffee. African Americans always order something with caramel. What it is really just depends on if it's hot or cold out. Can't say I blame them though. Caramel blended drinks are the business. I'm an app developer that creates apps for cities. Municipalities want everything for as cheap as possible while expecting the highest level of quality, service, and customization. Considering the prices we ask for and the budgets they have access to, it's ridiculous. I actually had a city manager during a demo laugh at me and tell me that our prices were ridiculous and they could do it themselves. Yeah buddy, you go ahead and do it yourself. See if you don't end up spending hundreds of thousands of dollars building out that infrastructure. It's actually uncanny how many just don't understand what goes into building involved and customized apps. They balk at our prices but will drop tens of thousands of dollars on websites without batting a lash. If you have Russians coming to your hotel, never give them the lowest or the highest floor. They would come and demand change of rooms, bothering you on your shift. Used to work at an upscale cigar bar. Old guys with much younger escorts almost always referred to the girl as my niece. Yay. Sure, whatever you say guy. Oh, your niece. You and your 7 other brothers are sure fond of bringing her to this bar. I worked at Harkins Theaters and it is a thing, at least in Arizona, for gigantic Indian families. Gigantic meaning all of them, even kids were over 300 pounds. Come to the cash register and order copious amounts of food. Needless to say that crap ends up being $80. Then whose fault was it? Mine motherfucker. I work at a Best Buy selling computers. Old people always look at all the laptops and complain they have Windows 8 and leave with nothing. Middle-aged men never need help and get mad if you approach them. Asian people always buy a Mac and demand a discount on everything they buy. And everyone says Wi-Fi. It's not freaking Wi-Fi, it's Wi-Fi. My second job is at a mall kiosk, and Middle Eastern people will ask for the most ridiculous deals. Not only them, and not all of them, but most of them. They then will pout at me when I say no. You cannot have that for free. In the immortal words of my slightly racist father, watch out for those Arabics. They'll Jew you down. I was a cocktail waitress for 2 years. Older women who dither about what to order always get either a white zin or a whiskey sour. The buttholes who made me repeat the Luong beer list more than once always got a Budweiser. Old ladies drink Manhattans like water. The buttholes who made me repeat the Luong beer list more than once always got a Budweiser. They couldn't understand you. At the deli, I want a regular. The regular is always a figment of the customer's consciousness. They're regular and no one else's. Then they get pissy when I don't know what it is. I always thought regular was a medium. I've worked my fair share of retail jobs. Older white men will bring up items without tags or barcodes. That means it's free, right? D. Mexicans try to use every single coupon. Black people and white teenagers leave fitting rooms a disaster. I'm a bus driver, and the nurses where I drive are known to be the absolute worst. They get the most frequent service, yet complain the most about a bus being late, demand to get on and off when they please, and generally have a short fuse for things we can't control. Potholes, traffic, the weather. I know their jobs are much harder than mine and their hours are insane, but they don't need to take it out on us. We're just trying to get them home. Before I worked in the IT industry, I had no idea that being a female put me at a disadvantage. Kinda gotten used to it, but I regularly have to reiterate yes, you are speaking to tech support, or no need to transfer you to the tech guy, because you are speaking to her. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had where the customer doesn't believe what I say, but as soon as I get a guide to repeat what I previously said a dozen times, the customer's like, makes sense, thanks. Mothers of the bride in the catering industry. You see one walk into the kitchen. You hide. If you know she's there to talk to you, act like you don't see her until the last possible moment. She is angry. She is coming to yell at you. I've worked in catering for several years now, and this has yet to not be the case. Ever. And yet when it's time to get the check and leave, she is nowhere to be found. I too am a caterer. When a check bounces, never once has it been the person's fault who wrote it. The bank always makes an error. Not once have I heard, I wrote a check and there wasn't enough money in the account. I had someone who thought they can just write checks because they have checks left. Like number. You need to have the freaking money and they're stupid. Another one was flabbergasted when we suggested she balance our account to prevent overdrafts. This is pretty general, but no one knows how much money they can actually get in a lawsuit. People love to throw around these huge numbers just because they're mad. I stubbed my toe on the shelving. I'm suing you for $10 million. Yes, sorry buddy. Tort only compensates for the actual amount you were damaged, and punitive damages have to be within a 9-to-1 ratio of that. So your stubbed toe is at best worth about $1.50. Good pufferfish impression though. I work at a library. Middle Eastern and South Asian folks have no concept of closing time and always try to ask for a complicated interlibrary loan 5 minutes before close. It might be a cultural thing. In some countries closing time means all customers must be out the door by X time, while in other countries it just means no one new enters the store. I work in a grocery store. I've noticed that my Asian customers love plastic bags. They will get a fun-sized candy bar that's like 2 inches long and want me to put it in a huge plastic bag. I once helped an older Asian lady check out and she had put every single item in her cart into one of those little plastic produce bags, including boxed cereals, pre-packaged cheese, and a can of soda. Everything goes into a bag, and then it goes into a bigger bag. They are all about the plastic bags, and I have no idea why. If a Latino person gets a pastry or sweet of any sort, it will almost always have cinnamon as the main ingredient. Cinnamon twists, cinnamon bun, cinnamon muffins. Doctors, dentists, and anyone else who is in the medical field are total buttholes and will pile up their groceries on your counter as they shop, instead of using a basket. They also don't have any problem with talking on the phone as they pay, never acknowledging your existence. We use the bags as garbage bags so we don't have to buy them. I work at a Walgreens. White, middle-aged women in yoga pants with ponytails and baseball caps go straight for the photo kiosk every time. Also, it's easy to stereotype who purchases what brands of cigarettes. Virginia Slims for bitchy middle-aged white ladies. Newports and Cools for black guys usually. American Spirits for stoners. Marlboro Lights for most other regular people. Pall Mall for white trash. It goes on and on. Spot on. Camel Crush generally for younger, new smokers. Indians are the worst people to deal with in a sales environment. When I was selling cars they'd offer me half price, stay on the lot for hours, and never agree to anything. When I sold mortgages they would throw out rates that simply did not exist and say their friend got that deal last week. Whenever I have to deal with an Indian client I do my best to just pass them on to someone else or say frick it and pretend an inflated number is the best I can do. If they don't like it, go elsewhere. Unfortunately that stereotype is true. The reason this is done is because in India lots of mom and pop stores exist. When people go there, they negotiate for a price more times than not. This leads them to get a good deal. This mindset is then brought to America, where it obviously does not work. Source: have Indian parents who lived in India for a long time. The demographic of people who shoplift are generally middle-aged, well-off, white women. Some will even do it right in front of your face while talking your ear off. Or they shop with a half-filled grocery bag. They set the bag on the floor, pretend to read labels, and drop items in the bag when they believe no one is watching. You can spot these ladies pretty easily once you recognize what crazy looks like. Worked in a grocery store. Something doesn't ring up then that means it's free, right? Haha. Number. Have to check authenticity on a large bill. Lols, I just printed that this morning. So original. Mostly older men who say this. Also most old people refer to paper bags as a bag. Example, would you like paper or plastic a bag? And people who own dogs usually get plastic bags. I know this because they feel inclined to tell me why they're getting plastic. You don't have to tell me. I don't care. Also a lot of men and most teenagers won't take their change. Your change is .99? Nope, don't want it. Retail has shown me that people who will literally steal from you the most are the people who actually have money, but don't think they are low enough to spend it on products not even good enough for them. See, rich suburban moms. Also, just about any Asian will leave the store cleaner than they came. I've seen a guy accidentally knock down a single binder then proceed to straighten up the entire aisle. I work in the meat and seafood department of a large grocery store chain. 1. Old ladies suck. Seriously, every story about an annoying or rude customer usually starts with, so this old lady comes up to the counter. 2. Indian people have this annoying practice of buying whole chickens and making you cut it up into pieces and deskin the bird even though we already have all the pieces sold separately in the case that I could just pick out for you. There's a huge freaking line and quite frankly Mr. Patel, I don't have time for this bulls. That's cause the individual pieces cost more put together than the whole bird. Source: I'm Indian and I like to save money, sorta. 98% of Indians don't wear deodorant. I know of one from India who does and a few American Indians who do, but on the train I ride from Jersey to NYC or vice versa, all you smell is BO. Even a new Indian guy who started into office recently doesn't wear it. When he passes me to go to the bathroom, I hold my breath. Can someone tell me why this is? I don't mean to be mean, just curious. Back in India, your sweat would wash the deodorant off, so there was no point. Clients who mention they consider themselves amateur designers or mention that they have Photoshop are going to be a nightmare. Everyone thinks they can design and that they have good taste. They rarely do. There are a lot changes for change's sake. My partner says they have to pee on it to make it their own. That's pretty universal until you get pretty high up on the food chain. Usually at that level they have the confidence to trust you if they hired you. Those are the best jobs that get the best work. TL. Doctor, trust the people you hire to do their job. They are the professionals at it, not you. If Chinese business owners change the name of their business, they always do it on a Friday. Chinese business owners always request to have lucky phone numbers with things like 0212177777. Middle-aged women are the most difficult customers. Lawyers, solicitors think mentioning they are a lawyer solicitor will get them what they want. CEOs and male business owners tend to not like dealing with females, especially in a technical support capacity. I work for the local news. Fact, people are freaking stupid. Doesn't matter what race or income level you are. Everyone does stupid crap. The news is colorblind. At the golf course I worked at, the large majority of people weren't entitled pricks. Sure, they had money and expected a good job to be done, but outside of a few people, most had mellowed with age, and if something wasn't working quite right, they weren't too mad as long as we as workers were open with them and working hard. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.